Hello and welcome to this 20-minute hamstring focused yoga class. You'll notice I'm using a voiceover here. It's not perfectly synced up with the video, but just had some tech issues. We're going to go with it and I'll provide the voiceover for everything that's happening in the video. So here at the beginning, I'm just explaining that when we have tight hamstrings, our general instinct is to go right to stretching. However, tight hamstrings can result just as much from underuse as from when we work them. So, in this class, we're going to use a balance of mindful engagement along with stretching. You'll notice also that I have a couple blocks placed by the top of my mat. They're not totally necessary for this class, but if you do have tight hamstrings, you might find them helpful. Now let's begin. Lie down on your back and come into Supta Baddha Konasana, reclining bound angle. Bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees fall open. Place your arms by your sides with your palms facing up. And start to become more aware of your physical body, feeling the soles of your feet pressing together. Notice the gentle effects of gravity as it draws your knees open and toward the floor. Check in with your breath. Let your breath flow naturally while drawing your inhale down into your belly, keeping your exhale smooth. Take one more deep breath here. Now bring your hands to the outsides of your thighs and close your knees together. Set up your legs so your feet are separated about a hip width distance with your knees aligned over your ankles. And draw your right knee toward your nose. Move into Ardha Ananda Balasana, half happy baby. You can choose the grip that works for you. So I'm holding on to the sole of my foot, but you also can grab onto your ankle as I'm showing here, or you can hook your arm behind your thigh. Now release your foot or ankle and extend your leg straight up with your foot flexed, sole of your foot toward the sky. And we're going to move between those two positions. As you exhale, draw your knee down along the outside of your body, moving back into half happy baby. Now, here I'm explaining that if your hamstrings are super tight, you could also use a strap here. Just loop the strap around the sole of your foot and hold each end of the strap in your hands as you flow between these two positions. As you inhale, lengthen your leg. And as you exhale, half happy baby, draw your knee toward the floor, either using a strap or your hand. Now, with your leg extended, interlace your fingers and bring them either behind your thigh or your calf, or again, hold on to your strap. Now, you're going to use some resistance here to engage your leg. With your foot flexed, try to press your leg out away from you at the same time, pulling back with your hands. Hold there. Feel the muscles of your leg engaged as you press your leg out, resisting against the tension in your arms. Now you relax, let your foot relax, and gently pull your leg toward you. Release your leg now. Extend it straight up with your foot flexed. Keep it straight as you lengthen it all the way down to the floor and let it come to rest on your mat. Take a couple breaths here. Then bring your right leg back and reset. Knees bent, feet separated. Then draw your left knee in toward your nose and make your way into Ardha Ananda Balasana, half happy baby, with your left leg. Keep your breath flowing here. Now extend your legs straight up. Keep your foot flexed. And as you exhale, half happy baby, draw your knee toward the floor. Inhale to lengthen. And flow with that a couple more times. Extend your leg straight up and bring your hands behind your leg, or again, use a strap looped around the sole of your foot. Flex your foot and press your leg out as your arms pull back. Hold there, feel the resistance, and relax your foot. Draw your leg toward you. Release your hands. Extend your leg with your foot flexed all the way out and down, letting it come to rest on your mat. And pause there for a couple breaths. Bring your left leg back and set up for bridge pose. So your feet and knees are still separated about hip width distance. Bring your arms by your sides with your palms on the floor. Now press down through your heels, through your arms, to lift your hips up into bridge pose. Now to engage the hamstrings, imagine that your feet are glued to their spot on your mat. And now, without moving your feet from their place, try to kick your heels back towards your glutes. That isometric contraction should fire up your hamstrings. Keep holding here. Squeeze your glutes and lift a little bit higher if you can. And release down slowly. Hug both knees into your chest. And start to rock and roll forward and back. Get some momentum to come all the way up and over into tabletop on your hands and knees. Now extend your right leg back. Press into the ball of your foot as you reach your right heel toward the floor. Replace your right knee to your mat and switch sides. Extend your left leg back. Press into the ball of your foot as your heel reaches toward the floor. And release. Now, here is where you might find some blocks helpful. I'm using blocks beneath my hands to make it a bit easier to step my right foot forward into low lunge. Once you step your foot forward, square off your hips. Think left hip forward, right hip back. And let your hips sink toward the floor. With your exhale, press back, stack your hips over your left knee, flex your right foot, half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana. And now flow between these two positions. Inhale forward to low lunge. Exhale, press back to half splits. Couple more times, moving with your breath. Now press back to half splits and stay there. Take a halfway lift with your upper body, chest lifted, spine long. Then as you exhale, fold over your right leg. Rise up slowly and return to low lunge. Now, you're welcome to do that exact same thing again. However, if you'd like to practice a little more engagement and some balance, we can do this without our hands on the blocks or floor. So in your low lunge, reach your arms up toward the sky, then exhale, press back to half splits as you sweep your arms behind you. Inhale, come forward, reach up. Exhale to press back. Keep it flowing. Now you can bring your hands to the floor or your blocks as you hold your half splits. Take a halfway lift with your upper body. And as you exhale, once again, fold over your right leg. Release the stretch. Press your hips forward slightly and plant your hands on your mat. Get ready to step back to downward facing dog. Tuck your left toes, straighten your left leg, and step your right foot back. In your downward facing dog, you can make any movements that feel good to open up the backs of your legs, like bending one knee and then the other. Now return to tabletop. Set your knees down gently. And we'll repeat that sequence using your left leg. Bring your left foot forward to Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Square off your hips. On this side, think right hip forward, left hip back. And let your hips sink toward the floor. With your exhale, press back to half splits. And flow a couple times here. Inhale forward to your low lunge. Exhale to press back. Keep flowing with your breath a couple more times. Come into your half split and stay there. Take a halfway lift with your upper body, spine long, chest lifted, to then bow forward, fold over your left leg. Now release and press forward. So again, you can repeat the same thing you just did or try the hands-free version. Reach your arms up in low lunge. Now press back to half splits as you sweep your arms back behind you and flow. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, press back. One more time. Inhale, press forward, reach up. Exhale, press back, half splits, and stay there this time. Reach your arms forward. Halfway lift with your upper body, long spine. Then release, bow forward over your left leg, keeping your foot flexed. One more breath here. Release and press your hips forward. Prepare to step back to downward facing dog. Tuck your right toes, straighten your right leg, and step your left foot back. Once you arrive in your downward facing dog, raise and lower your heels a few times. Try to move with your breath here as well. Inhale to lift your heels. Exhale, press them back, reach them toward the floor. Look forward and walk your feet up toward your hands for forward fold, Uttanasana, ragdoll variation. Separate your feet at least as wide as your hips, even a little wider. Keep your knees generously bent and let your torso just hang there for a couple moments. Now bring your hands to your thighs and take a halfway lift, still keeping your knees bent here. Think about creating length in your spine as the top of your head reaches forward, your tailbone reaches back, then release down again into ragdoll. Now turn your toes out slightly and let your hips sink toward the floor into Malasana, yogi squat. Bring your hands together at your heart center. Again, think about lengthening your spine here as your sitting bones reach toward the floor. Grow taller through the top of your head. Now, with as much control as possible, gently lower yourself to the floor. Once you're seated, come into Baddha Konasana, bound angle or butterfly stretch, with the soles of your feet together, knees open. Sit as tall as you can with space between your collarbones, long spine. Take one more easy deep breath here. And release into an easy cross-legged seated position. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this hamstring focused class. And be sure to leave me a comment and let me know what sort of class you'd like to see next. Thanks for joining me. Be well.